Yo, welcome to my channel. My name's JD and I'm an artist from Bristol in the UK. And as you probably guessed from the title of this video, today I'm going to be showing you how to create a mandala artwork. Now I'm going to be doing this in my way. So basically, my mandala artwork is a little bit different. It's not like the usual sort of typical mandala artwork you would see. So I'm just going to be showing you how I do this. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. We're going to be doing a mandala kind of like the one you see up behind me here. And yeah, hopefully you'll learn from this video. Maybe you want to follow along. Maybe you just want to take a few little tricks and tips from this video. But anyway, there's not much else to say, so let's get on with it. What you'll need for this is a piece of paper, a ruler, a protractor, a compass, a pencil, possibly an eraser if you need it, and for this video a couple of pens. Now this is everything that you'll need to create the mandala, so let's crack on. The first step is to find the center of the page. Now you do this by measuring each edge and just making a little mark halfway. So for instance, this page is 30 centimeters, so I'll make a little mark at 15, and each edge is the same, so I'm going to do this all the way round. Now that I have all my marks, I'm going to join each one that's parallel to each other together using the ruler. I have my center mark. So from here, I'm going to join a line from the center to the very corner of the page, and I'm going to do this all the way round. Once we have completed this section, the next thing is to take the protractor and we're going to measure halfway in between each segment. So this section is 45 degrees, so halfway of that will be 22.5. And I'm just going to put a little mark at that 22.5, and I'm going to do this all the way around again in each segment. Next up, we're going to go back to the ruler and we're going to go from the very center of the page, and as closely as we can, we're going to divide each section in half and pull a line from the center to the pencil mark that you've just made. But be wary, because the pencil line is so close to the center rather than on the edge, then you have to be quite precise to try and make sure that it is half of what you are segmenting, if that makes sense. And I sort of do it by eye, and I think, yeah, that looks quite good as half. And I just work my way around yet again. Once you've done that, you should have something that looks like this. So we've gone from 4 segments to 8 segments, now to 16. The next part is to take the compass, just make sure it's set up correctly. You want the pencil to be the same height as the point, so I'm just going to adjust mine now. Once you have your compass set up, you open it up just a small amount so you can create a small radius. Starting from the center of the page, you put the point at the center and you just start with a very small circle. Now a little tip is, instead of turning the actual compass, I like to turn the actual page. So I hang it off the edge of the table, as you can see here, and I just turn the actual page rather than the compass. I feel it gives me a little bit more control. Keeping the point in the center, I then open up the compass bit by bit. Now it doesn't matter exactly how much you do this, but I would recommend try not to open it too much. And what I like to do is I open it up at different sizes each time. Now this actually will depend on the final product of your artwork. So as you will see, creating this piece, it will actually change because of the distance that I make this compass each time. So just play around and work your way out all the way to the edge of the page, and you will have your guide ready to go. for this mandala, the pens that I'm using are Posca paint pens, and as I've got a black piece of paper, I'm going to be using silver for a good contrast. Now I've got two pens, one's thicker than the other, they just have different size nibs. I like to switch up between the big nib and the small nib, but I'm going to start with the big nib. Now for the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ring around the first circle that I created with that compass. So this is how I like to start my mandala pieces. You can actually start it any way you like. You can do it with a pattern, but I like to start with a circle. And now in the center, I'm actually going to do a drawing of something that's not symmetrical, not a pattern, and I'm thinking I might do a moon crescent for this one. The center is done, and now we have something to build on. So I'm going to take my big pen, and I'm just going to be freestyling some lines in, using the guide that we created before. I'm going to do every other one, and I'm going to do it 2 circles out, meeting up to that center circle line that we done. Now you can do absolutely anything, but this is just what I decided to do for this one. You just work your way around till you get to where you started. And what I like to do is turn the paper and do each line in the same direction so that my hand moves in the same way. That way you're going to keep your lines more consistent and they're going to look pretty much the same, hopefully, all the way around, rather than keeping the paper still and moving your hand around and trying to draw each line in a different direction. So what I will do is I'll do this halfway to here before moving on to the left hand side. By doing this, you're just keeping consistent lines throughout, and now I'll move on to the left side and I will just make sure that I'm trying to keep my lines going in the same direction, and because of my hand staying in the same place and moving in the same way each time, it just helps, and that's just a general great tip. But like I said, mandala is all sort of freestyle, it's all subjective. You can do lines in any way you want, you can do them curved, you can do them straight, and I'll be showing you loads of different examples throughout this piece. Now, it doesn't always have to be symmetrical. I'm going to show you in this one where you don't have to do symmetry to make your designs work. They can still look good without doing everything symmetrical. So before I'm using my guide, I'm just putting one point to the other, turning the page and doing the same lines all the way around, but I'm not matching or mirroring the last line that I did. And this way it will give it a very different effect and a very different overall look in the end product. Sometimes you look at it and think, where do I go from here? So the way I see it is I just look at what gaps maybe need filling or what looks a bit open. So this section here, I think I could do with maybe an oval in this shape. And yeah, I like that, so I'm just repeating this all the way around. And if you see any places and you feel that you don't really know what to do, it's just a case of filling big empty spaces with some lines. Any sort of direction you want, as again, it's all freestyle. So I'm at a point in the piece where I feel like I can go back to the symmetry. So this is what I'm going to do, and using my guide as per usual, I'm just going to go from one point and go to the same point all the way around and repeat this process. And I'm going to convert it back to the symmetry piece that it started off as, and this will basically just affect the flow and the feel of the overall piece. Another thing I like to do is I like to re-add the circles in every now and then. So I'm just going to use one of the circle lines from my compass as the guide, and I'm just going to reinsert one of these circles, and it just helps the flow. As it's a circular design, it's good to have a few circles in there. Rather than just keep it all line work, I do like to fill some in, as you may see with some of the circles that I've done. But I'm also going to fill in some of these sections in here too. I just feel like it gives it a good balance between line work and solid sections. Right now I'm going to go back in the non-symmetry direction. I just feel like I want to give this piece a flow that it's going from symmetry to non-symmetry throughout the piece. Now this is totally subjective, it's totally up to you, but it will reflect the overall look. And hopefully you can understand now on how much you open the compass will affect the piece in the long run, as you're using all of the little points on the grid to basically distinguish what this piece is going to look like in the end. But you do curly lines, straight lines, wiggly lines, you can do whatever you want, just have fun and hopefully you can enjoy it. So now we have all of our big line work done, I'm going to take this more fine line pen and basically I'm just going to be filling in all of the areas that need filling. So everywhere I see a big dark area, I'm just going to fill it in with anything you want basically. You can use a border, which is what I'm thinking for this one. So I can put a little border around each line, or you can fill it with dot work, you can fill it with stripes, you can do anything you want, swirly little pieces, stars, it's entirely up to you. So that is basically it from this tutorial. I'm going to shut up now and let you enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll catch you at the end. We are finished. I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm not going to lie, some of the lines were a little bit uneven and a little bit janky, but it just goes to show, if you keep going and work your way around, in the end, it will look sick. Just trust me. Hopefully, you maybe learnt a thing or two, or you can take a trick or tip from this video and put it into your mandala artwork. Or maybe even you've never made a mandala before and now you have the confidence to do so. It would be sick if you let me know in the comments, and as always, hit that thumbs up button and give it a like, and it'd be wicked if you could subscribe too. And if you tick that little bell notification icon, you'll be the first person to know when the next video drops. Now I have made some more mandalas, so I'm just going to leave you with a few shots of those. Take it steady out there, and I'll see you in the next one.